We on? Okay. What's going on, everyone? I'm Matthew Medforth, and welcome to the Mathew Medforth Show, a football podcast, episode 2. Now, last week's episode, our introductory episode, as some might call it, because, well, that was the first episode. We talked about pretty much the off season. But I think this week we're gonna put it into perspective, and I'm just gonna share some opinions of what I think, because I have some big ones already, and we're not even draft yet. We're getting close, but we're not at the draft yet. And so, yeah, that should be fun. And also, if we've got time, I might review my standings predictions. I've been wanting to do that for a while. Oh, so that could be fun. But if we don't get to it this week, we will probably get to it next week. And my mock draft will be coming in sometime between now and then. So keep your eyes out. That's going to be in video form for appearance. So keep your eyes out for that. All right. Now, with that out of the way, let's get started. Now, there are a few teams I have strong opinions of that I wouldn't have had last offseason that have changed in a big way. Hey, and among that list, I think it's the Bears. No, not the Bears. Who meant that? The Bills. Yeah, the Bills. Not the Bears. The Bills. Because I forgot to mention DJ Moore was traded to them in last week. My mistake. We all forget. Let's move on. Yeah, it was the Bills, It was the Bills, it was the Raiders. Bills, Raiders, and the Packers, yeah. I think the Giants... Yeah, we might talk about the Giants and the Chiefs. Chiefs a little bit. And I kind of want to start with the Packers, though, because I'm not really impressed with their offseason. And I don't mean to be negative. I don't want to try and talk bad about teams, but I'm not going to lie either. I'm not going to lie about results either. Because that's just wrong to lie about results. So, the Packers, they kept losing players. Excuse me. Had to get a bit of water there so I didn't lose my voice. Okay, what was I saying about the Packers? I'm still... What do I say about the Packers? Yeah, the receiver room. Yeah, that's what I have issue with. And it's not the quantity of receivers, because they had good receivers last year. Well, yeah, they still have Matthew Golden on the rookie contract, but he barely did anything his rookie year. And the other receiving depth for the Packers is that they got none. Romeo Doubs traded to the Patriots. Or free agency to the Patriots. He's on the Patriots. And people are calling the Patriots one of the worst receiver rooms. I disagree with that. I don't think the Patriots receivers are half bad. I mean, Mac Hollins is pretty good. I mean, sure, getting rid of Stephon Diggs, it's half good, half bad. And yeah, it's half good, half bad for me. Because I don't know. I feel like I'm stopping and starting a lot. I haven't really said much. Yeah, Stephon Diggs, sure. He had a cap hit. He's got a bad reputation to him. But, I mean, just for like the cap hit, sure, you take the good with the bad. And I think Romeo Doubs is a decent replacement. I don't think he's as much of a head case. Very few players I think are head cases in the NFL. Oh, but I know Stephon Diggs is probably a head case. Tyreek Hill's a head case. Would I put Travis Kelce in that? Probably not, because it's kind of just celebrity exposure with the Chiefs. And that brings me into what I wanted to say about the Chiefs. Look, I like what the Chiefs have done this offseason. I think they've rebuilt their offense. Trent McDuffie going to the Rams, that's a tough pill to swallow. Oh, because he's not on the Chiefs. Because they traded him to the Rams. But they got a first-round pick out of it, and I don't think it's going to hurt them too much. That's not going to be their downfall. Oh, because with their luck, they just develop a new corner. Because they're good at developing corners. Or with the offense they got, with the offense they have now, their receivers, it was a little bit shaky between receivers and run game. And Rashee Rice got suspended, Xavier Worthy got hurt, and I don't really think they had a better option at 3. Now I think they have 3 solid receivers. I think Xavier Worthy is going to get a little better. Sure, he's not going to be like the best wide receiver ever to exist, but he's not that bad of a wide receiver. Rashee Rice, if he stays out of trouble, I think he's good, because he is fast on the field. Like he is fast. He's a fast guy on the field. It's just he's got to stay on the field and out of trouble. Oh, that's the thing with Rashee Rice. Maybe you can do that. AJ Brown, that's going to be a solid pickup. Oh, and this goes back to the Packers as well, since we're in the wide receivers conversation. The Packers had traded Dontavian Wicks to the Eagles for a draft pick. Didn't really look into the draft pick. All I know is that it's another receiver the Packers lose. Oh, man. And it's going to be rough. That's rough for Green Bay. I mean, sure, you're paying your quarterback all this money, but that was years ago. You were still able to keep your receivers. Like, why they're leaving now is beyond on anything I could say. I don't know why receivers are leaving Green Bay. I mean, sure, Green Bay plays in a tough division, and that's why I criticize it so much, is because as because they play in this division. If I'd still be a believer of them if they had played in a division like the AFC. The AFC. No, I can't really say AFC North because of Baltimore's in that division. If they play in the NFC South, I'd still have faith in them. But that is not the case. They play in the NFC North. Or the Eagles. I think Dontavian Wicks is going to be good with the Eagles. I mean, that offense is, well, it's never going to be terrible. I mean, it could leave a lot to be desired at worst, but it can also be one of the best. It's like we saw when the Eagles won the Super Bowl a year ago. Oh, so yeah, and this I don't know what to think of the NFC East right now. I think the Giants would be a popular pick to finish second. I mean, the Giants, they have had a good offseason. Not a good offseason, a great offseason. They had a couple of rookies and had young players on their team. They're like, let's not squander these fine young men. Let's not squander the careers of these fine young men, and let's build around. They signed Isaiah Likely to play for the Giants from the Ravens. They signed a lot of Ravens players, mainly because they hired John Harbaugh as their head coach. And you look at the guy's tenure with the Ravens, and it's all like, when I first heard it, I was like, okay, maybe it's time. A little shocking because they were so close, but yeah, maybe it was time. But then you look at the guy's tenure, and it kind of brings a tear to your eye. Like, when I first looked at his tenure, it almost made me cry. I had my eyes out because, yeah, like the guy's tenure, 180 and 118 win-loss record, and a Super Bowl. I mean, it is pretty hard to beat that kind of production. But yeah, that's pretty hard to. Yeah, I think he'll find the same level of success eventually with the Giants. It's just the NFC is loaded. Like, I personally am a believer in the Commanders. I really like Jaden Daniels. I've liked him ever since he was drafted, even in some of his rougher games. I still think he still got it. I still think that way to this day. I don't think the Commanders are a bad team. I was critical of the Commanders during the season, but then I thought about it, and I was like, I was too harsh on them. They can't control injuries. The same thing that happened to the 49ers last year, a year ago. Oh, it's Washington's going through the same thing. Like, if Jaden Daniels and the receivers can stay healthy, I think that they will be one of the best again. I don't know if I picked them to win the division last year with a 12-5 record. We'll get to that in a little bit. I picked them to win the division, and they didn't. I didn't think they were going to go 5-12 like that. I know some people were, how can I say this? A little pessimistic on the Commanders. Yeah, that's the right word for it. I wasn't. I was still a firm believer because, well, the Giants had a hard schedule, and Like, come on. Who's going to pick the Giants that in going into the bid 2025 to be a good team anyway? Well, they showed a lot of fight, and they had a lot of positive attributes, and a lot of good things. They didn't translate into winning enough games. But the fact that they were being way more competitive, even they were injured too, but they were being way more competitive. If the fact that happened in a team that wasn't even expected to be like that, injury or not, is a step in the right direction. The Giants have been building for the last year or so now. And they've been building this the right way. Hey, they've been building a good team. I don't think it's going to translate to immediate success, but I only think that because, well, the NFC is loaded. I mean, you got to compete with like the NFC West. Their NFC North is still a great division. And the Commanders and Eagles in your division. And the Cowboys if they can figure out the offense. Let's talk about the Cowboys for a minute. The Dallas Cowboys. I liked their offense last year. Didn't really like their defense. They were better towards like the Thanksgiving portion of the year. The end of the year they cratered back down. I just can't find confidence in the Dallas Cowboys anymore. I really can't. I mean, sure. I don't think the Cowboys will win a Super Bowl until Jerry Jones is no longer running the team. Till he's no longer running the team, the Cowboys won't win a Super Bowl. I'm sorry to all the Cowboys fans. But that guy is holding you guys back. I don't mean to be critical about an owner like that. But that guy, I want to be as positive as I can with every team. But I'm not going to deny the results. Also, I'm going to try and put it in a softer way, but I'm not going to deny points outright. And that guy, he's holding the Cowboys back. Jerry Jones single-handedly has been holding the Cowboys back from what they could have been. And that goes back to offseason moves. You know, in 2024, everyone else was making a frenzy of the offseason. What were the Cowboys doing? Basically sleeping through free agency. I don't think they're literally sleeping. I think it's kind of like I said that jokingly. They didn't do anything in free agency. It is more the serious way to put it. And, well, both the Cowboys and Eagles in 2023 ended horribly. But unlike the Cowboys, the Eagles, I mean, sure, they did stuff about it. But I think their biggest move was bringing Saquon Barkley over from the Giants after Jason Kelce retired. And sure, Jason Kelce's I think he's been having fun with Monday Night Football on ESPN. I think he might be one of the halftime panelists for the Super Bowl this year, because the Super Bowl is on ESPN. But going back to the Eagles, yeah, I think they're gonna be okay. Yeah, I still think they're gonna be okay. I think this is still their division, and I don't think anybody's gonna take it from them. I don't really see anyone taking the division from them. Although I think the Giants and Commanders can make it interesting towards the end of the year. Even the Cowboys always can make it interesting. But I'm not going to officially, but I can't decide right now. Because I think the Eagles, Giants, and Commanders, I mean, they have positive attributes. And while the Cowboys do as well, I think Jerry Jones is holding them back from what they could be. That's where I stand in the NFC East. NFC North. I can't figure it out except I think the Packers are going to be last place. But I've got a couple of obvious division winners as I think of it right now. And this is before we know anyone who's drafted, any scheduling. And the Panthers and the Ravens, I think, are obviously going to win the divisions. Because the Bengals, they keep having defensive problems. The Browns are the Browns. I think they need to admit they're in a rebuild. And the Steelers, I think they're lost in their way. That's what I think when I think about the rest of the AFC North. But the Baltimore Ravens, sure, they lost John Harbaugh and a few defensive pieces. They backed out of the Max Crosby trade. Got some water. Get some water in me. I don't know why they say yes to a trade and then have backed out. But they got a nice replacement for Trey Hendrickson. They might draft a few defensive pieces. I think the Baltimore Ravens are going to win the division easily. Do I think they have the lights to compete with like the Jaguars, the Texans, the Patriots, or the Broncos, or even the Chargers? Maybe some yes, maybe some no. But as far as just their division, in Baltimore, same with Carolina. I don't think they're going to be like the most flashy team this year. But the trend with Carolina and like the Panthers trend and is from 23 onwards, you win 2 games and then you win 5 games the next year. 5 games in 2024. You won 8 the previous year, and that's a division title. And they brought in Devin Lloyd and Jalen Walker, which I think are really, really good moves. I'm sure that's the only things they really, really did. Excuse me, in free agency. But as I said last week when I was talking about the Panthers, quality over quantity. And the trend. And because of those two thoughts, that pushes it over for me. That's why look, if I had to guess right now, if someone said, oh, you have to guess right this second, I'd say the Panthers would go 11-6 because the trend and their offseason moves support one another. And it'd be easy to do. Do I think they're gonna battle like the Bears or the Lions or the Rams or the Seahawks or even the Eagles or Giants or Commanders? Some yes, most of them no. But as far as their division goes, New Orleans is still in a rebuild. I think they're going to figure it out eventually. I just think New Orleans just needs to keep taking some small steps in the right direction. The Falcons, the Buccaneers lost Mike Evans. I don't know what to think of them right now. They might be in the conversation, but I'm not going to go down the Buccaneers road. That's not where I think of them right this second. The Who else do we have in this division? The Falcons. Oh yeah, the Falcons. Oh, those Falcons. Yeah, I can never figure the Falcons out. Like, I want to give them praise, but every time they seem to do something right, they take a step back in the opposite direction. This is like back and forth, back and forth. It's like, pick a number. I don't mean that in a rude way, but it's like they're just lost. They're lost. Oh, they're lost in their own way. Hey, and I don't think the Panthers are. I thought the Panthers would have been lost in their way for a longer time than the Falcons. But the Panthers have figured it out within a few years. They got good coaching. Bryce Young, he's not perfect, but he's getting more consistent. Could he still be labeled a draft bust? Only if he's really bad. I don't think he's going to be really bad. I think he's far from that. So my guess on that would be no. Okay, and the Raiders. They're making a lot of moves. They brought in Kirk Cousins. I don't know why they brought in Kirk Cousins. But I guess Mendoza could sit and learn behind Kirk Cousins. I heard that Mendoza's not going to go to the NFL draft. Do I think that's going to affect his... I think it's a little odd that he's not going to the draft, but do I think it's going to affect where he gets drafted? Absolutely not. He's way too clear-cut of a number one. And I don't think his draft stock's going to fall. I don't think we're going to have a Shedeur Sanders situation. And I think he's going to get drafted to a team. I don't know if he's going to have a Jaden Daniels type rookie season. But I think the Raiders are objectively better than the disaster they were last year. They made a couple mistakes, but they looked good at the time. But in the moment and how it translates after the fact are two different things. So that's what I think. Maybe it could bite them in the butt, or maybe it could be one of the greatest things ever. I don't know. It's unpredictable as the Raiders, but I believe in the Raiders. Will I think that translate into like big results? No, because they play in the AFC West. You got the Chiefs. I don't know if they'll translate into big result. Because, the Chiefs and Chargers have been Chiefs and Raiders have been more inconsistent on the offense. And so, the Chiefs, they've been a little unfocused the last couple years. The Raiders have been bad. The Chargers have been good. And the Broncos, if you had asked me 2 years ago what I thought about the Broncos, I thought, well, they don't really have anybody anywhere. And I'm not confident in the quarterback situation. I am 100% confident in Bo Nix. I am a Bo believer. I think the Broncos hit the jackpot. And I don't think they're going to let him go. Like, do I think he's going to be perfect? No. No one's perfect. But do I think the Broncos are going to want to get rid of him quite quickly? No. Do I think he will get a well-deserved contract when the opportunity presents itself? himself, given the team he plays for? Absolutely. And I would think he would deserve it. I would think he's going to get it. And I think it's going to work out really well. Oh, and it's worked out well so far for the Broncos and Bo Nix. And we've only done, and it's only happened for 2 years. So, yeah. And I want to touch on the Bills before we get to a fun part of it. I want to touch on the Bills here. So the Bills, they promote Joe Brady as offensive coordinator. I'm still a little skeptical. Oh, I think the Patriots coaching outsees the Bills. I think the Patriots are more well-rounded than the Bills. But the Bills bring in DJ Moore. And, well, I'm not going to question them to the moon and back because don't forget who their quarterback is. And he's Josh Allen. But their quarterback's Josh Allen. And he's, even though the team around him hasn't made big results, Josh Allen's made something out of nothing basically his entire career. Having DJ Moore on the team will help. I don't know if promoting Joe Brady was the right move. But we'll see how it goes. I don't think the Bills are going to suddenly snap from 13-4 to 12-5 and then to like 6-11. I don't think that's going to happen. I just think they narrowly lose the division race to the Patriots. We'll get into that more when I make actual predictions between May and July. And yeah, CFL's coming up. I'm going to start talking about CFL because, well, things have been quiet right now in the CFL. The NFL produces more news-related stuff. But, yeah. Okay. So, here is the fun part that I've been looking forward to. I thought it'd be a good idea for me to do that. And if you guys want me to make a separate video reacting to my 2025 predictions, I will be more than happy to do that. Because I've seen some other YouTubers do that, and I thought, well, it could be fun. I want to see how many I got right, how many I got wrong, what's half right, what's half wrong. I want to dissect it quite a bit. But I hope I'm not here too long. Okay, because some of the predictions, they looked good at the time, but oh, good lord. They didn't turn out so well. Oh yeah, me picking the C. I'm not gonna spoil anything. But I know some of the predictions are already gonna be biting me in the butt. I just know it. Yeah. I just know it. I just know it. But we will still take a look. Should I start in the AFC or the NFC? I think I might start in the AFC. Normally when I do something like that, I would start in the AFC South. So that is where I'm going to start. Alright, so in the AFC South, that is the division where the Titans, Texans, Jaguars, and Colts play. Get ready to do this. Okay, so the Texans, I had the Texans going 12-5. I had the Titans at 9-8. I had the Jaguars at 6-11, and I had the Colts at 4-13. Oh man, were some of those ever wrong? I'm actually going to give myself a pat on the back for the Texans one because, yeah, the Texans, they did quite well. Yeah. Texans did quite well. They started 3-5, but ended on a 9-game win streak. So while they didn't win the division, they easily could have. But who saw the Jags being good? And I didn't see the Titans being too bad. I thought Cam Ward was going to be better than he turned out to be. I overlooked their offensive line struggles. And I thought before the season of maybe putting the Jaguars in first, or like a 9-8, and the Texans at an 8-9. I don't know why I didn't. But I think I'm glad I didn't. No, I'm not glad I didn't, but I'm impressed with the Jags, and I think they're going to be good. I know some people think their Jags are going to be frauds. I don't think so. I don't think so. Oh, so yeah, the Texans 12-5. That was somewhat good. It's only they were second instead of first, but not far off. Jags. Everyone else, I was quite far off on, but I was impressed by the Jags and Colts. Not so much the Titans. Okay, the AFC North. It's the division of the Ravens, Bengals, Browns, and Steelers play. Okay, where'd I have those teams finishing? Did I have the Browns finishing with a horrible record, 3-14? They finished 5-12. Meh. I mean, well, I think you just got to say they're horrible. Well, somewhat. And that's probably that. The Baltimore Ravens at 13-4. Okay, you can't fault me for this one. You cannot fault me for picking the Baltimore Ravens to win 13 games in the season. No, you just can't. I won't listen to it. Unless it's happening right before my eyes. Other than that, I won't listen to it because I thought it would be a good prediction. That was my team to go to the Super Bowl. I did not think they were going to struggle like they did. Because that's very unlike the Baltimore Ravens. The Cincinnati Bengals. Look, I thought they'd fix the defense. The defense could work around two guys instead of one. And well, like, come on, Cincinnati's offense. The Steelers, Mike Tomlin was their coach in 2025. That's why I thought they'd go 9-8. I thought maybe 5-12 if Aaron Rodgers doesn't pan out to go to the Steelers. They wound up winning the division. I didn't think that was going to happen. And the Browns, well, how do I say this lightly? They're the Browns. Yeah, they had a nice rookie class, but I didn't think it was going to really do anything. All right, on to the AFC East, where, okay, I'm starting to regret some of my picks in this division, but I had the Bills as the number 1 seed at 14-3. I had the Patriots as like a ranged one between 7-10. I had the Jets 6-11 because I believed in Justin Fields. I had the Dolphins being trash. The Dolphins went 7-10, but it looked like they could have been trash. The Jets, they were trash. Gosh, they were like, oh, somebody forgot to take out the trash. That was New York Jets. Yeah, Jets were bad. Bad. They didn't even get a single defensive interception play the whole year. They win 3 games. 3 games. 3. Yeah. I still think the Jets and Dolphins are going to be bad next year. The Dolphins have been regressing it by 1 game ever so slightly. The Bills at 14-3. I didn't think the Patriots were there yet. They did everything right that offseason, but I don't think that they were going to even be close to catching the Bills. They're the ones that wound up winning the division. And I think it was because of their Week 5 game against the Bills that they beat them in Buffalo. That's probably what could have sealed the deal. That's what I think sealed the deal. So, yeah, that's... Look, I didn't think the Bills were going to make the Super Bowl, but I thought they'd be, like, third best when the playoffs were done. Like, number 1 seed in their conference, okay? Like, you can't fault me on that. And they still made the playoffs. They still could have made it, but yeah. Okay, the AFC West. I can't remember if I had the Broncos at 11-6 or 12-5. I was torn on who wins that division. I said the Broncos initially. I got all the placements right in this division. I had the Chiefs missing the playoffs. I think that was one of my best predictions. And the Raiders, well, I thought they were going to be good, but they weren't. I still had them in last place, and I'm kind of glad I had them in last place. AFC West, I mean, sure, I've nailed the Chargers. Second place, 11-6. The Broncos, meh. I didn't think they were going to win 14 games. I thought they were like a year away from that. I still thought they were going to be good. They were going to be a good team. Because, well, yeah. Like, there was no way I thought the Chiefs, I didn't believe in them too much. And I'm kind of glad I didn't. Yeah. That's the AFC. I'm going to move on to the NFC East. The Commanders. I had both the Commanders and the Eagles at 12-5. I don't know why. I don't know why I did. The only reason I had the Commanders winning the division is because, well, at that point, the NFC East didn't have a repeat champion. They did because the Eagles won it. That was the only reason I didn't pick. That was because of the NFC East superstition. I thought the Cowboys would go 6-11. They went 7-9-1, so I'm not far off there. I thought the Giants would win 5 games. They only won 4, but I don't think I was too far off. NFC. Oh man, this is where it's gonna get ugly. Ugly. It's gonna get ugly real fast. The Arizona Cardinals. Look, I think the Niners had drama and injury concerns. I did not believe in the Seahawks. For many reasons, mainly because, well, I didn't trust Sam Darnold, and I was a Cardinals fan. The Rams, Matthew Stafford's back injury. The 49ers, who I only had going 10-7. I just thought some injuries and off-season drama like usual. The Cardinals didn't have any of that going around them. They were the most well-rounded. Apparently not. Yeah, yeah. I didn't believe in Sam Darnold. Mainly because I don't like the Seahawks, and I'm a Cardinals fan. Yeah. Yeah, it seemed like a good idea at the time. Yeah, the Niners at 10-7. I thought they could have been a little better. Rams at 8 and 9. I should have probably put then when I got everything wrong. Let's move on. I'm not gonna like what I picked in the NFC North, am I? I had the Lions as the best team. I had the Packers at 12 and 5, second in that division. I had the Bears at 10 and 7. I had the Vikings struggling. The Vikings did struggle, but they weren't last place. The Lions were last place, and I picked them to win the Super Bowl. Oh, great. Yeah, look, I didn't think the coordinators leaving was going to hurt them as much as it did. Just need better coaching on the sides of the ball, except for head coach. Dan Campbell's a good head coach. I think the Lions will figure it out. They're not going to stay down. They'll be back. The Packers, look, they drafted a wide receiver, and I thought he was going to be good. You can't fault me on that one. The Bears, however, I believed in Ben Johnson, but the division was too tough. Didn't think they'd win the division. Who thought the Chicago Bears would win the division? The Vikings I had at 5 and 12. I criticized them for letting Sam Darnold go. Because, even though I didn't trust Sam Darnold in Seattle, that's due to new environment. If he was on the Vikings, they would have been right in the playoffs. But no. And that leads us to the NFC South, where I had the Buccaneers at 12 and 5. I had the Falcons at 9 and 8. I had the Panthers at 7 and 10. I had the Saints at the worst mark you could get at 2 and 15. So the Saints, they were a little better. They were still last place, but they were a little better. There was a 3-way tie for first, but the Panthers won it, and I think they deserved it. I don't know. I don't know if it was the Panthers or the Buccaneers. Whoever won the division in 2025, I still would have said, well, the Panthers, I think they're still going to win the division anyway. Hey, whoever finds their way in is going to get creamed in the first round, but I still think they're going to win the division. That's the season. I thought the Buccaneers were going to have a really good season. And who could blame me? The Falcons, I was a little skeptical about them. Panthers, I thought they were a year away from contention. The Saints, who thought the Saints were going to be competitive at all? Okay? So, how many division winners did I get right? I got none of them in the NFC. I got one division winner. Correct. How many of the playoff teams did I get? I got 1, 2, 3. 3 in the NFC. AFC, I think I did a little better. So yeah, I had Steelers making the playoffs for whatever reason. Who was getting creamed by the Ravens? If my predictions were correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I only got 8 of 14. 8 of 14 is not bad, but in some of my predictions, they seemed good at the time. yeah, they were just boneheaded at some of them. Some of them were great, like the Chiefs missing the playoffs and the Texans at 12 wins. And the Bears having a good season. Those were good predictions. The Chargers, I especially pat myself on the back when the Chargers won. And the Broncos winning the division. But the rest of them were kind of... Alright, I would have defended them at the time, but looking at them again, I couldn't have been any more wrong. That just proves to you that one guy's opinion isn't fact and that anything can happen in football. Well, with that, it was longer than last week. How did that happen? But with that, that's going to bring this episode to a close. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we're going to be doing this again next week. So, see you then. Bye.